All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 14 of News Report with Zyori and Hyper. The first episode after 14 weeks. Well, I guess it's probably more like 18 weeks, given all the time we've taken off. Anyhow, this episode actually has a title, Josh. It's Obama time!
Oh, yeah.
Obama won the election. Wowza. I'm still a little bit in shock. Of course, we had our running bet, $10 on the line or a meal at the local bar. And I lost. I had $10 on mittens.
Picked the wrong horse.
I did. I picked the wrong horse. And, you know, the polls were so misleading, Josh. I was watching Fox News, and they had Romney up by like 6% the entire election. I had to go with the news. I figured...
Well, you have to go with Fox News,
if it's good enough for Bill, it's good enough for me, Josh.
Dude, the Fox News had so convinced themselves. They were the only people that thought Romney was going to win.
Yeah. Well, Carlos' parents thought Romney was going to win. I have faith in his parents.
I have faith in the real numbers. I don't know. We should talk a little about the big person who emerged out of this election from all the people that called it.
Who?
And that's Nate Silver. I don't know if you heard of him.
Who is Nate Silver? I don't even know who that is.
4 years ago, he called 49 out of the 50 states correctly on who was going to win. And This year, I'm pretty sure he did the exact same thing. And before the election, he had Obama at a 90% chance to win. So I went with him since he basically does everything. It's all math-based. He takes a composite of all the polls taken. And yeah, he basically just does a bunch of statistics and everything. Wow. And he has a website and everything that shows how likely Obama or Romney were to win each state individually.
So for this election, how many of the states did he guess right?
I think it's either 49 or 48.
That's pretty impressive. That's I mean, if I was going to look at some statistics, Josh, he's pretty far out in those standard deviations that it's not just random chance. That's pretty nuts.
Oh yeah, he after calling it too, he's just been on a bunch of shows too.
Well, I would imagine. I mean,
yeah,
he could probably pass for a psychic if he wanted to go that route.
Yeah, this was the big test though, because he called the election 4 years ago, almost to a T.
Right.
And then you got to make sure it's not just a fluke, and he did this one in almost the same style.
Wow. Well, that's pretty unbelievable. What's his name again?
Nate Silver.
Nate?
You got to look for him in 4 years. Another 4 years.
Look for him in 4 years. All right. And by the way, guys, I did just tweak some of the audio settings. I realized I had both my mic and Josh cranked up way tenfold. We were redlining a little bit. So hopefully, let me know if there's some audio imbalance because I haven't set up, whatever. I haven't used this setup like this recently since I've last tested. Anyhow, Josh, that's fascinating. Moral of the story, I went with faith, you went with numbers, and science be told, numbers won out. So I'm actually fairly happy with this outcome, Josh, because I tender myself, I fancy myself a numbers guy most of the time. But I really just wanted to gamble. I was in the mood. I had one of those. The monkey was on my shoulder. I was like, I just want to fucking gamble something. And I knew that you would never bet on Romney, so I was like, well, I got to do it if I want to bet on this. So I just bit the bullet and went for it.
I know. I'm even looking at this. He called almost the popular vote really close too. Look at all the numbers, AC.
Wow, that's pretty impressive though. Speaking of, do you remember when we brought up those MIT students that kind of gamed the lottery system?
Yeah.
Could you send me the link to that? I could probably find it in the news report thing. I was talking to somebody about that last night, and they were telling me that I was crazy. I was like, I'm almost positive that happened, and that just
I'm going through our 1,000-line Excel spreadsheet right now to try to find it.
Oh god! All right, don't worry about it. I should have saved that note for later. So let's do it, Josh. Let's go ahead and queue up, and then we'll get straight into our first piece of news. So, guys, we have been playing Dota 2 primarily. Oh, God, I got to put on D&D. We have been playing Dota 2 primarily. Oh, shit, never mind. I got one person to bring, Josh. You know, Joe is to Dota as this guy is to Han.
Oh, shit, he's going to carry us to victory?
Well, after I said that, I'm not sure if that analogy actually holds true. But He's one of the few guys from It's Gosu that I liked a lot, and he was good. It's that guy Matt. I think we've played with him before. So whatever. I mean, it's casual mode. So anyway, you got to ready up again, Joshy. So yeah, guys, we have been playing pretty much exclusively Dota 2, and we wanted to try something a little different today. Go with some Heroes of Newerth. So here we are, going to be playing casual mode, and it's going to be probably a bumpy ride. I know Josh is rusty. I'm probably
I'm gonna try a completely new hero, but it's gonna work out.
Oh man, yeah, Ravenor. I actually don't know what I'm gonna pick. I might go Wild Soul or something and just sit in the jungle. No, that's no funny casual mode. I might go Scout. I don't know. We'll see.
Might go Scout.
Might go
Codex?
Scout. I don't know. We gotta think.
Codex Scout.
No, well, only in casual mode because you can get kills and like just run around and that's it. I mean, you get like 2 or 3 kills and you snowball like crazy.
Sounds good to me.
You want some pound cake, Josh?
Oh, maybe later.
I don't want
too early.
pound cake. Yeah, it's too early for pound cake. So anyway, Josh, first piece of news. I looked at it and I've already forgotten what it is. Let's see here. I've got it. Oh, right. So Hurricane Sandy. We didn't do a news report last Saturday. I don't really think it was Sandy related. We just kind of didn't do it. Regardless, though, we missed the Sandy action, and it was actually not so wild where we were. Josh and I are in the Twilight Zone. I had my window open for like 80% of the storm. It never really just kind of did more than just rain a little bit. Josh, I know your metrics of measuring storm devastation were foolproof and accurate in this storm.
Oh yeah, my metric is how flooded our backyard gets, and our backyard was not really that flooded. on the scale, yeah. So yeah, we totally lucked out. We actually were like, I think the iPad's right over us basically.
Yeah.
And like it was just calm here, and it was just windy, not too much rain.
Yep.
Not even too much wind.
The Twilight Zone. We were in the eye, and it was pretty nice, you know. And the whole time, I had all this stuff ready to do. I was ready to do some writing in a notebook and read. I had all my storm supplies ready in my bed, my candles. Like I still have my giant flashlight right here, and with big batteries in it. And you know, and we ended up just playing on the computer for 2 days straight. I think we played a shit ton of Diablo 3 for 2 days.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And it ended up just being a nice vacation. Everybody was off from work. All the schools were closed, so we just sat around. My parents were like, screw it, we have electricity. We're going to read anyway. They went to Barnes & Noble and bought like 6 books apiece for 2 days inside. They read them. It was all good.
Yeah.
So
some other places were definitely not lucky, though.
Yes.
Long
New
Beach
York,
Island, Ocean City.
Wow.
Just have sand in the street.
Some of the stuff from Ocean City. My mom actually has a beach house in Ocean City, and wow. She has an upstairs unit, so it's complicated, though, because the foundation's screwed up, and it gets tricky with if you own the upstairs, how much of the foundation do you own, and all that stuff. So it's been a nightmare, and of course all the insurance agencies are just like, their phone's ringing off the hook, and it's hard to get anything done, and everything's all backed up. And like you said, there's sand everywhere. Like, you can't even drive on some of the roads. You might be able to now, but you couldn't for a while.
Yeah, and the power outages were nasty, too.
They're still nasty. There's still people without power.
Yeah.
My great aunt and
that we just got hit by a nor'easter, too.
Yeah, that was the kicker, and that's really what happened. They everything went down. They sort of patched up some of the power lines right after Hurricane Sandy for kind of a temporary fix to at least get some power going. And then that nor'easter came and just ripped up every little patch that they did, and then everything was crippled. And that's what really. There are some places still that don't have power, and that is.
That's rough when it's getting this cold. I guess it's heated. I guess it's warmed up a bit.
Yeah.
But we got snow, last week, which was really crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy indeed. So I'm lucky. I feel lucky at least to not have even lost power at all. But yeah, I think you're right about the coldness. That's what my great aunt and uncle were saying when they were staying at my grandparents. They say, during the day it's not that bad. You have sunlight. They were like, we have a gas stove, so we can still cook a little bit. But it's just so cold at night. It's like once you kind of catch the chill, you never really warm up because your sheets are really cold from sitting there all day. I was thinking, though, why don't you just lay on top of the bed and read a book, and you can warm up an area, then you get under the blankets. I don't know. I did that last night with one of the dogs. You let them sleep in the middle of your bed, and then you kick them off when you want to go to bed, and your bed's already warm for you. You know what I'm saying? Same kind of a thing, but with humans. whatever. That's nitpicking at the power outage, folks. So with that, though, in Jersey, we actually had a pretty cool thing happen. We had a gas shortage in like half the state. And I don't know where the cutoff was, somewhere around Trenton or something and higher. How did it work, Josh? If you had an even plate, you could go on X days. If you had an odd plate, you could go on Y days.
Yeah, that's basically how it was working in like 12 of the counties in New Jersey because yeah, there was straight up gas shortage because all the power was out and there were lines probably spanning like half a mile and everything from some gas stations. So people just lined up trying to get gas.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, gas prices shot through the roof and everything.
Yeah.
As far as on the black market, obviously gas stations can't actually price gouge the consumers.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there was some black market gas selling for sure.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and I kind of wish we had. We were talking about selling it for $10 a gallon, and we were arguing like, oh, people wouldn't pay that. I saw an article where some guy was selling it for $20 a gallon, and he said he could charge more if he wanted.
I think I sent that to you or whatever. Yeah, people were selling gas, and the gas containers was the other big thing people were trying to sell.
Yeah,
since there was a shortage of them apparently.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, my parents bought a generator and then realized, oh crap, it only holds 7 gallons of gas. That's good for like maybe 24 hours worth of runtime. What do we do? And I was like, well, Mom, I mean, honestly, I have a full tank of gas, so we could siphon the gas out of my car. She's like, you know how to siphon gas? I'm like, it's pretty easy. You just get a hose and a bucket. She was like, well, I don't want to get gas in my mouth. I'm like, all right, Mom, so you're going to let all the food in our 2 refrigerators and freezers go bad because you don't want to spit some gas out and go brush your teeth? I mean, come on. What are you thinking? So they went out and they were looking for gas cans, and they found a 2-gallon one, a 3-gallon one, and a 5-gallon one. And then they got them filled up. So that's all the gas that we had for our $1,000 generator. It's just like... It's really insane though when crisis stuff happens. It's really interesting how people underestimate the power of numbers. As far as like how true it is that we control our economy and businesses. If we really hated Walmart that much, we could all just stop shopping there and they would go out of business. We have that power. And when there's a crisis and people don't think about that and just do it, it's just ridiculous. Like everyone's going apeshit. They're killing each other over gas cans, and you're like, Mom, we didn't even lose power. What do you? It's wild, man. It's
definitely crazy, but yeah.
I don't know. I have trouble because I'm not a person that really panics in those kind of situations. I tend to be just like, it's gonna work out. If they're still running commercials on TV, it's really not an emergency. That's my metric.
But what if everything goes out? It's okay when you're safe, yeah. It's when everything goes bad, though.
I just remember, at least my parents were. I remember I was telling you this, and you were just like, "Yeah, my family's not worried at all." And you guys did literally zero storm prep.
We were literally not worried at all. But like, if something bad happened, we would have definitely gone into worry mode.
Yeah, well,
if we lost power for like a week and everything.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess my mom wasn't lying when she said some people are not going to have power till election day because some people still don't have power, and obviously election day passed. So
yeah, they definitely did some things where. You could vote by email, I think, is some of the like ways they try to get people to vote since people are still without power. Yeah. And some of the roads were messed up still. So you could vote for like the major like presidential election. I'm not sure exactly how they did like the local things and everything.
Yeah. I saw some so some stuff like that about now people how are people going to vote, and I don't know.
Voting that was still a bit of an issue, though.
I thought they would talk about that more on the news, but it didn't seem like anyone wanted to be bold enough to say, at least the news I was watching. I mean, honestly, like I go maybe 60% Fox, 40% CNN, and I flip back and forth because I can't watch just Fox because it gives me a headache. But I find it interesting to see what they're saying.
I thought it was pretty funny. I wanted to watch Fox on the night of the election. I kind of want to see them.
It's pretty.
See the reaction to Obama winning.
Yeah, dude. Now that they just squabble around, and all they were talking about was how upset, like reasons why Romney didn't win. Like, what were the things that really hurt him? And they were saying that, like, they were kind of saying, well, like, wow, what do we have to do to take over? And some people were suggesting that the conservatives need to be just like less intense conservative and just be a little more liberal. Like lean on some of their issues, and others were like, no, that's not what conservatism is, and all this. People were getting hyped, and they were just kind of arguing. It really wasn't that great, man. It was, lackluster at best. Are we going to hold that bit of news reporting here? Because we got to pick some heroes, Josh. And, oh, God, I'm the highest on our team. I may play Rampage. I'm not going to lie.
I'm picking this guy, except I don't even know how to pick him.
You picked him already.
Did I? Okay, shit, the screen came up with, like, avatars, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Oh, yeah, it looks a lot different.
I'm not going to lie, his avatar, like, an alt one, was pretty damn sick.
All right, well, we have, like, 4 strength heroes. Maybe I shouldn't pick Rampage. I mean, this is a little ridiculous. I could play Torturer. I'm not very good. This is what I'm worried about. Like, I am by no means good right now. All right, fuck it. I'm going Torturer.
Do we have a carry? Oh, you picked already?
I'm Torturer. I'm going to carry.
You totally don't have a carry.
God. Okay. All right. This is going to be rough. Well, I don't know. We've got a lot of strength heroes. Well,
I know. We're so strong.
Been hitting the gym.
Oh, look. They don't have a carry either. Unless Solstice is a carry. I don't know what that hero is.
I think Solstice is int. No, he's strength. All right.
Strength. We got this.
So they're the same, dude. They've got 3 strength heroes and 2 ints. Same. It's a mirror matchup. Oh.
New meta. No carries.
Dude, they're gonna release the Kraken on you though, which is what I'm.
No carries in casual games. New meta.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let me crank up my sticks. All right. Starting items. Oh God.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Following this build lore that they're telling me to do.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with these items. Oh, sweet. We start with a courier. That's so nice. Okay, so cool. We're gonna play some Heroes of Newerth here. Oh, this feels so funky, Josh. Okay, so next on the list. Oh, so along with Hurricane Sandy here in Jersey, that actually made for some interesting Halloween trickery. And that trickery was lack of trick-or-treating. The official Halloween day of Wednesday got pushed back to the following Monday. And I don't know about you, Josh, but I think we got a grand total of 5 trick-or-treaters. It was pretty lackluster in my book.
We still got, like, the normal, I don't know, I'm not in a really big neighborhood, so we probably got all the kids went out and trick-or-treated.
Yeah, well, there's,
like,
there's
that's
like 20 houses in your neighborhood.
There's only like 20 houses. It's not like we're in development where like kids from other developments come over because they're like, yeah, these guys got the best candy in the world.
These guys got the candy. This guy wants to get first blood with you.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what my hero does. So I'm gonna try to do some stuff.
I really don't like that you can't see how other people have skilled up like you can in Dota when you click on their heroes. It really bugs me a little bit. So, yeah, it was a little bit interesting. I sort of felt bad for the kids that could trick-or-treat, like, because in South Jersey it wasn't that bad. But there were some areas where it really, I mean, it was a necessary thing to do. It was, you know, if your whole town's flooded, like, you don't want people trying to trick-or-treat. You know, there's that one Honey Boo Boo dumbass out there that's like, oh, come on, we gotta get some candy. And they go out and their kid gets, like, lost in a gutter because the entire roads are flooded. You know what I mean? It's bad news.
It was pretty bad news, but yeah, the hurricane triggered a whole bunch of stuff. Like the Boston Marathon was canceled, and that was a huge thing or the New York Marathon. My bad.
I was gonna say, was it that bad in Boston?
It was terrible in Boston.
Oh.
Oh shit!
Was? I didn't know it was that bad that far up. Josh, can you not news report and learn that hero at the same time? Are you doing that?
Dude, we're trying to get first blood, and oh my god. We almost had it.
We were almost there. All right. So yeah, you're right though. It did screw up a lot of scheduled events.
We almost have first blood, AC.
That's good. I'm beating this Thunderbringer. I'm feeling pretty good about it. So, what's next on our list of news here, Joshy?
Oh, I don't know. I just had some notes down on Apple paying like no income tax on their like foreign like income and everything.
Yeah, well, I know you're socialist and everything. No, so what is it exactly? It's just like all the business that they outsource to like China and stuff. They don't pay normal tax on like they would if it was American.
Basically, and that's like some of the big incentives companies have to like not build like new plants and everything and hire workers in other countries. It's not only like the low wages they can get away with. It's like avoiding American taxes and avoiding like European taxes.
Yep. Well, that's unfortunate.
I know.
I know how much you like Apple. I don't really know what to say about that because it's one of those things where it's sort of, it's not an easy issue because there's, you know, oh god, this Thunderbringer, he's getting scary. Oh god, that potion saved me, but now I'm gonna have to run back. It's complicated because it's like it's sort of tax evasion, but it's not. You know, it's a pretty split issue. There are some people that are like, listen, it's written into the rules that you're allowed to do this, and there's nothing wrong with it because if it's in the rules, then you're not breaking the rules, and that means you're doing okay. And there's other people that are like, well, it's not really against the rules, but that doesn't necessarily make it like a moral thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of 50-50 because a lot of my business stuff leans towards the latter, and my sort of, I don't know, I guess my first thought would sort of be the former. So it's a tricky thing. I don't know. What do you think? Are you one of those, Josh?
One of those what?
I don't know, that they shouldn't be allowed to do that. Like somehow it should be illegalized or something.
I don't know. They should be. It's kind of like the lax laws in China and everything. And hold on, I gotta see my friend.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think they should be able to get away with it with like just dodging taxes. I think there are way too many loopholes in the system and everything that allow them to do it basically, and they should be closed.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you for the most part.
Yeah. I don't even know what.
I mean, I don't know. I have trouble. To me, it ends up being more of a moral issue just because of all, you know, I mean, we talked about this a little bit, I think, on a past. I know we've talked about it in real life. I want to say we talked about it on a past episode with Apple outsourcing that stuff to China, and then they had such a big problem with the factory workers committing suicide out the windows that they had to put up nets around the building so that people could jump out the windows and not die. Like
Yeah, Foxconn or whatever their big plan is over there, that they basically make a bunch of stuff, and they're the like work environment's not because they use a lot of chemicals and everything to like perfect the screens and everything.
Yeah.
So.
That's scary stuff. I mean, that's just a really, you have to put up nets around your building. Like I don't know, I don't know who. Like there's someone in Apple that like approved that and said, you know what, okay, this is a good idea. Like who is that soulless individual? You know what I mean? That's where I kind of go, God, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It does become a bit of a tricky thing to regulate. But I mean, people were saying that same thing about Mitt Romney. All of his money is, a lot of his money is in accounts offshores, you know, because it's favorable for tax reasons. Thunderbringer was going top, and I'm on my way up there as well. Yeah, let's kill top, Josh. I'm coming. So
okay.
It's a little bit tricky. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it.
Shit, I lagged out.
Oh no, oh no.
I lagged out, and yeah, he had visibility.
All right, well, I'm coming in. We're gonna go on Witch Slayer.
Hold on. Oh shit! I'm not even there, and I don't have my cooldowns up.
Oh no! All right, that was not the best play. I don't know. I thought we could do a little more damage. Witch Slayer was pretty low. Look, you've got full mana, Josh. You could have done something.
Yeah, my only thing though that I can use was on cooldown though.
Oh, I don't know what your guy does. I figured you could throw some ball lightning at him, dude.
I do, yeah, but that wasn't cooldown.
Josh, you're really letting me down. Listen, Hori.
You just ran in there.
I thought we had a team. I thought we had something. Josh, I thought we had anything. I thought we had more than just everybody running around like chickens with their heads cut off. But apparently that was all we had. All right. Well, don't worry. Wug's got to kill down bottom lane. So yeah, I have mixed feelings about that kind of stuff though, and really more importantly, how to regulate it because there kind of comes a point where I mean, what do? If Apple refuses to adhere, do you just force them out of the American economy? You know, like what do you? I don't know. What stops them from just becoming like a Taiwanese company that we now just import from instead of an American company that outsources to Taiwan? You know,
that was a big thing. You have to like create almost. I think you almost have to create like a global like effort and everything.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's really the big problem. I mean, that's the basis of the problem is that the same work conditions aren't in these Asian countries.
Because that's like basically their last place they can go. They can't really get away with this stuff in Europe, and they can't get away with it in America.
Right.
And the last places are basically China and other very small, mostly China though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, the areas around China. I mean, Taiwan and so what's that other one? There's another big one. Malaysia. There's a lot of shop stuff.
But yeah, that's like the big countries that they can get away with doing some of this manufacturing in, since it's not really too much Korea or Japan because they have like their own economies.
Yeah. South Korea, at least.
Well, yeah, you don't really want to do anything in North Korea, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, what is North Korea up to these days? I actually haven't heard too much. I mean, I can't imagine. Zeus is headed top. I can't imagine too much has changed, but has anything changed?
1 second, I'm buying shit, and I'm forgetting how to buy shit.
Oh no.
I don't think...
that one up.
Shit, no, sell that.
Care top, Zeus is coming.
Okay, I'm hiding.
I've got some pound cake. I don't know why I went bottom. I probably should have just stayed mid. Oh god. I got him! Yay!
Oh man. I don't know why I cut back. For some reason I thought Zeus was gonna...
Die, Magnus! Oh, Zeus got me. No. It's okay, Josh. I made a 2-for-1 down in the bottom lane.
Nice.
Alright. Good stuff. So yeah, that is tricky stuff. What do we have next? Oh, what now what is this, Josh? I saw this in our notes, and I hadn't heard anything about it. A lady was ordered to wear an idiot sign after driving on the sidewalk to avoid stopping
was pretty
for a bus.
crazy. I didn't believe this was true until I actually read the story.
Sounds made up.
It sounds made up, but it's true. And it's kind of weird because the judge ordered it. Which is like...
How is... Wow, okay.
Yeah, she was basically just driving on the sidewalk to avoid a school bus, basically.
I mean, was she mowing people down? I'm assuming people
No,
were,
no, it
not
was just
hurt.
to avoid... It was just to avoid traffic.
Damn.
On, I'm getting hit again in the face by Zeus. Double damage Zeus. And I don't like it.
Magnus.
But yeah, it's kind of weird because that's sets the precedent for that to happen now.
Oh no, I shouldn't have turned. I thought that guy was on my team. Wow, I could have played that a little better. Damn it. I really thought Solstice was on my team. Damn, Josh, I can't handle all these new hero skins. It's too much for me.
Surprised you even know who Solstice is.
Well, only because I clicked on him. I mean, I saw his name. Damn, Ravenor's got some pretty sick dreads too. Look at that. So, where did this happen? What state? Was this in some crazy state like California or something?
A Cleveland woman in the thing it says.
A Cleveland woman. And is this a quote from the judge? Only an idiot drives on the sidewalk to avoid a school bus?
That was what the judge ordered her to sign to say, yeah. It is pretty crazy because it sets, like I said, it sets the precedent for this to... Judges can now, use this whatever ruling as,
right,
terms for doing basically something similar to it.
Right.
Which is what's pretty crazy. Since, this in itself is kind of really weird.
That is... I don't even know what to make of that. Is there, a recording of it or something? How did you even hear about this?
Oh, it was my top news.
It was in my top news, alright.
When I look at the news, I see top stories.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, very interesting. I mean, that's pretty, archaic, man. That's dunce hat style, you know?
I know.
Public humiliation. I mean, I'm actually not that opposed to public humiliation that doesn't really harm you, you know? I mean, putting somebody in those little shackle things is pretty rough, but, you know, making them sit there and look stupid is, I mean... They did a pretty good job of that themselves already, but...
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a big
Oh shit, is there a giant fight down there?
It's pretty big.
I just found out that I can't move my items in my inventory, so I can't do shit.
Yeah, you gotta... It's different than Dota. You gotta, pick them up.
Yeah, I'm trying to pick them up. It's not letting me.
I wrecked one of them. Oh my god, Solstice. I don't know what he does, but he's good. I couldn't go toe-to-toe with him. Alright, Joshy. So, very cool. Be careful when you're in Ohio, because you may get dunced. What is... Oh, okay. Alright, this is the thing. You don't even have to remind me, Josh. I remember so well. General Petraeus resigns from head of the CIA. Now... go ahead, Josh. Give us the lowdown. What's the deal with this?
I mean, I'm still trying to figure out, because, basically... He had an affair with the person that was writing his basically autobiography.
Hmm.
And she was with she's been like following him for a pretty long time because it originally started as like a dissertation for a doctorate,
Hmm.
and then it turned into something else. Apparently, it turned into an autobiography, and
Oh,
then
okay.
out of that came this affair.
Right. So now this is why I thought it was interesting. Last night I sat down to dinner, whatever, with my family, and we usually watch TV, and the news was on, and we flipped channels and we turned it on, and in the middle of this segment, and they went on since the point that we turned it on for at least 3 or 4 minutes of just this General Petraeus guy and how great of a general he is and all of his achievements, how long he's been working for the CIA, and we're all just kind of sitting there. And after about 5 minutes, my stepdad just goes, "Wait, who is this guy again? Why are they telling us all this?" And then they go, "Oh, and so that's the story of him and having of the affair of General Petraeus." And we're like, so that whole thing was to talk about how good he is, and he's getting fired now, or he's stepping down because he had an affair with some writer. Like, what's the big deal? I don't understand why that's such a criminy.
It was kind of it's being blown up, I think, by like people like Fox News and everything. I'm trying to figure
Hey,
out if
take it
there's
easy on
anything
Bill.
if there's anything like extremely bad. I mean, it does open him up. There's like the argument that opens him up to blackmail and everything. Oh, I'm getting killed. I'm getting killed.
I'm coming
Save
in.
me.
Oh,
Nope,
God,
too
there's no
late.
saving you from the silver bullet, Josh. And I didn't have impalement up. I used it to kill the Minotaurs. Yeah, I guess that's true. It would. Okay, yeah, I could see that. All right.
But like, I don't know.
Didn't seem that bad.
It didn't seem that bad. Just because the person like that he was having an affair with was like, it's not like they were like a super secret agent spy or something like that.
Right, it's like his
It was just
writer.
like, yeah, that
Maybe.
seemed like was portrayed by at least, well, like what you hear is like a really nice person, everything.
Right. And well, my mom's first statement was just like, I mean, come on, we've had presidents that have, had affairs and stayed president, and that's like that argument for like, oh, it's a public example, like that kind of went out the window when we didn't impeach Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I mean, what's the big deal? They literally spent 5 minutes going over how great this guy was at his job, and now they're gonna let him go. Like it seemed really strange, and it almost felt to me like the news was almost protesting it by doing that kind of, like blowing it up with how great he was and to make their point. I don't know. It was just a very strange. Poor General Petraeus. What I don't like is that everyone pretends like, people in our country aren't having like mad affairs. Like we talked about that thing during the Republican Democratic conventions, how they have to like fly in hookers because there are so many like horny politicians there looking to get laid that can't meet women themselves. And like that's like a documented thing that they actually do that to, it's just like, all right. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, but we can't pretend that doesn't happen. We can't pretend that a huge portion of our married population are not monogamous, and that's just kind of the way about it.
Oh,
Holy
shit.
shit! I was drinking my coffee, and this guy came in and fucked my day up.
I just tapped all my buttons and I killed him. I was stunned.
I picked up my coffee at the worst time, literally. I really don't know what that guy does, but he almost killed Tundra in about 2 seconds.
All I know is that I have like a semi-hook that instead of bringing them to me, I go to them and I stun them for long times.
Wow. I'm glad you're learning your hero, Josh. That's
I know.
Cool.
This whole shop thing, I kind of forget how to use a shop. I kind of want to be able to type something in, but I forget the names.
So it's interesting stuff, though. That's what really bugs me, is just this sort of pretending that our public officials aren't, like all getting it on all over the place. It's really just. And I mean, my whole thing is, what difference does it make? I mean, that's sort of like, I think you could make a strong case for just sort of a natural human thing. You could make a case that humans weren't really designed to be monogamous. So what does that have to do with this guy being able to do his job well? The blackmail thing is definitely a valid point, but generally speaking, what does that? How does that negate?
Yeah, I think
years of
I
service?
want to say that there's more to the story, and that's kind of partly why I got fired. But I've read, I only read like 1.5 articles on it,
Yeah,
and one's pretty lengthy, but I couldn't see anything like really, really bad. Besides, I mean, yeah, there is always the threat that it opens him up to blackmail and everything. and so that's always a concern. But for him to resign and everything,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it
Maybe
kind
there
of makes
was
sense
more.
that you have to do. It kind of makes sense that you almost have to do that.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah. Maybe there was more to the story, and they just didn't want to make it public out of just decency or whatever. So it's. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really think about that. And in our arrogance, we always assume we have all the information. Well, not always, but it's sort of natural to assume you have all the information. Oh, look at that juke right there, Josh. Damn. You see that? You see those reflexes? Stupid Witch Slayer. All right, let's do something. Let's dive this tower. Let's
Not
just
gonna lie, I'm
kill
pretty
this
sure
Zeus.
last fight I thought Magnus was on our team.
Oh, Magmus.
Oh, what? They're taking our like mid towers.
Uh-oh, this isn't good. We need to do something. Go in, Devo. Hook 'em. Throw a big one.
I'm going to try to think of something to do.
I'm gonna think of something to do.
Dude, I initiated that. I ran in there and I stunned Witch Slayer. I don't even know what I did besides that.
Well,
I clicked all my abilities.
I just destroyed some kids. That's all I did. I don't know. Yeah, take two. Take the hell. Take three. Take as many. You can be greedy, Tundra. You deserve it, buddy.
Be greedy.
Be greedy. Do it our money style. Romney. Oh, that clown. I still can't believe I voted for a Mormon, man. That is just... I never thought that would ever happen. Ever.
I don't know why you voted for him.
Well,
Besides, you had a bet on him. That's
yeah,
about it.
$10 is enough of a reason. I mean, partially because I feel like it doesn't really matter if you vote Republican in Jersey because it's just so blue always. Oh God, Solstice!
Don't worry, I got him.
All right, good. I turned my ult on, and that was all I could do. Damn, we're trashing these phonies. Alright, I'm just gonna run back to the base. Screw it. Alright, so yeah, that was a weird thing. I don't know, maybe more information will come out later. But we'll see. So Josh, we only have one piece left. We're actually plowing through these a little bit. May have to go impromptu here, but last piece, change in satellites travel forced to keep in orbit around Earth. What is this this bad boy, Josh?
So there was actually an update on like global warming and everything, and they were talking about now it's now having an effect on the satellites, basically anything that orbits the Earth right now that we've sent up in there, because there are higher concentration levels in the atmosphere because of like the increased CO2 levels in the lower atmosphere. And so they're going up, and this is causing the it to be more dense in there and to actually like trap and maintain heat and everything. So this is actually having an effect on how these satellites travel through the atmosphere and are having yeah, as you can see, that would have an effect on their like orbit. And so that can screw up if they go out of orbit or go into the Earth and everything.
Basically, what it sounds like to me is they designed all these satellites to be able to move through X air density with ease based on their engines and stuff. And now that the air is more dense, the same calculations aren't holding true where their engines or whatever it is aren't made to maneuver through that. So now the satellites are... There's potential for them to have issues in that case.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. They just gave it to me.
I'm so far behind, but I'm coming in.
Get him, Ravenor. Oh, Josh, you missed the party. You didn't even bring the chips. We made a 1 for 3 without you. Oh, man.
I thought my thing would have done something. I tried to do my long-range hook.
My long-range hook, my sniper rifle didn't work. Oh, my God. And they conceded, Josh. Look at that. Wow, it was meant to be. So that's interesting. So has anything really bad happened? I mean, are we going like Truman Show style? Are satellites crashing into the Earth and stuff?
No, it's not yet. It's something that they're noticing though, and it's only going to get worse as the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
So if our CO2 emissions continue at the rate they are, it's just going to get worse, and they're going to have to like when you send something up to orbit, it's not like just a simple thing. There's a lot of calculations to do it.
Well, yeah, obviously, space is no easy business.
So it's something that they're going to have to consider, and they probably will have to make adjustments with like their existing stuff, because like you can't just float stuff forever in space. and like they had that show like Life After People and everything. Like if people like
Oh yeah.
disappeared, everything would eventually crash into the Earth, and like only like 8 or 10 years, I think it is. Like even the space station, they're like designed to have like jet thrust to like compensate for the gravitational pull to the Earth.
Okay.
And so if people disappeared, then like within something like 10 or 20 years, everything would come crashing to the Earth.
I see. I see. That's interesting. I know what show you're talking about, though. I've never watched it. It seemed interesting, but oddly stupid at the same time, so I never really gave it a chance.
Yeah, I only watched the first episode, and that was what it talked about because that's one of the first things that would happen.
Yeah. Well, that I mean that sucks. I mean the problem is there's a few big problems that I see here. One, satellites are really expensive. So however, if they either have to go up and tinker with them to fix them, whether they have to land them to fix them or replace the parts and then send them back up, it's going to be expensive. So that's a big problem. There's a lot of satellites up there now. As more and more things become more reliant on satellites, it gets trickier of like, well, how do we take satellites down? You know, because we with between GPS and all that kind of communications, as well as all those. What was that thing not too long ago where there was? I guess the court case is probably still going on about the different frequencies of like sending messages. Some of it's like blocked off by the government and other parts, and they're saying that like we need more because we're running out of frequencies for cell phones and stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've heard of stuff like that. I'm not sure
I wish I had an
exactly
article
the
talking about it.
cases.
I
Yeah.
read an article about it, but I'm it was a while ago. I'm totally blanking, and I honestly I didn't really quite understand all of the fine print. But so the cost is a big thing, but then the other part is like I was just saying. I mean, just not having satellites have to be down for you to fix them, presumably. At least I would think. So it's just how that's just crappy, and it's going to compound because that problem's just going to get worse as CO2 gets higher, and as time goes on and we become more reliant on satellites, it's going to get harder and harder to fix as well. So that's like, ouch, that's scary. 10 years from now, Josh, we might not have our GPSs working.
No, they're trying to privatize that stuff with SpaceX and everything.
Oh yeah, one of my friends
Um,
works for SpaceX.
yeah, where they're sending stuff up and they're trying to like commercialize it and everything and make it more cost efficient. So hopefully that should be able to at least offset some of like the maintenance if you had to theoretically take down all the satellites. I think you should be able to do work on them up there.
Yeah.
It's just that in most cases they
I mean,
don't.
I don't know how space stuff works, man. I don't know if you can repair satellites in space or if they have to dock on the space station. Man. I always dreamt about, you know how they always say you can be that like little cliche when you're a little kid and they're like, I want to be an astronaut. It's like, you can be anything you want if you work hard enough. It's just like, yeah, that was true for a while. I don't think I could be an astronaut at this point. I think I
You're
think I'm too
past
old now.
astronaut prime.
I think I'm well, not past astronaut prime, but I've wasted too much time not doing astronaut like things to make it worthwhile. I don't know. And plus, I've spent too much time out of shape. I think it would take me too long to really get in fit astronaut shape. Like, you know that what's that thing? Like, yeah, I don't know. Do you have to be able to hold your breath for a really long time? I don't know if I could do that.
I do not know the requirements. I know they just like opened like NASA just opened their astronaut school again, where they admitted like 16 people or something like that, and they haven't done it apparently in a really long time. And it's for like their next missions in the future, since missions to the moon I guess have been canceled.
Yeah, we can't
They're cutting
afford
back
it.
on NASA. Yeah,
Dude, if only Newt Gingrich got elected. That would have been his first order of business. Get that moon colony going, dude.
and get the moon colony going so I can move there and the White House there.
Newt Gingrich, that guy, man. He was. I can't believe he was a front runner for so long. He was such a clown. Him and Herman Cain were, in my book, were on like the same level of just
Herman
like
Cain, he was so funny though.
he
Herman Cain
made
was
it.
so funny.
Dude, that my all I think of when someone says Herman Cain or if I see an interview with him is that I guess it's not technically what's it called? CNN did it. Wolf Blitzer hosted, and they had like the I guess 8 Republican candidates there, and they kind of have an open floor debate a little bit. I don't know what it's called. I guess the primary debate, whatever. And it was just so funny. Wolf Blitzer was hosting, and he asked Herman Cain a question. He goes, "Well, thank you, Blitz." I mean, Wolf, I'm sorry about that. And I was just like, Herman, it doesn't even matter what you say to the answer to this question now. Everyone's still just laughing that you just called Wolf Blitzer Blitz on live television. Like, come on, dude. And he's just like, I walk around, or they give everybody like 2 sentences to introduce themselves. Well, hello, everyone. I'm businessman Herman Cain. I'm like, that's your title? Businessman? That's not, dude, that's not even a title. Everyone else is like, I'm Governor Romney. Hello, I'm Senator McCain, whatever.
That's because that's the only thing he was.
I know,
but wasn't a senator or governor or anything.
I mean, but it's like, at least if he said something like CEO, that, I mean, you can just say like, I'm CEO. You can, say something. That's a real title, at least. Businessman isn't a title. That's just like a phrase. It's just a phrase. It's like, I'm a businessman.
That's like his only title he could give himself, I guess.
I guess
he was so funny.
Stupid. Yeah, I know. They were trying to say, and everyone's like, well, he's just trying to differentiate himself between like the politicians, and he doesn't do politics. He's a business guy. I'm like, well, I get that, but it just sounds so dumb when you're in front of people that have real titles. If everyone had a made-up title, it would be okay. If he was just like, I'm everybody's friend Romney, then it would be like, I'm Mormon Mitt Romney. Then businessman would have been appropriate. But it didn't work for me. And fucking Herman Cain, man. Thank you, Blitz. I mean, Wolf.
Oh my God. I so like how Stephen Colbert piggybacked off his campaign and everything in the primaries. Did you see that?
It sounds familiar, but I don't. I'm having trouble recalling it. So that was a while ago. That was like 4 years ago when all this Herman Cain shit was happening.
4 years ago. That was like this past summer.
Wait. Oh yeah, it was this past summer. Crap, you're right. I was thinking it was the election with Obama and McCain, but you're right. Herman Cain was this last one. Damn. All right, I guess I wasn't paying that. Actually, yeah, that debate was the only thing I watched. That was the first thing that I saw, and after that I was just like, all right, I can't take these Republicans seriously. I'm done.
Oh my God, the Republicans. That was another reason why I thought Mitt Romney lost. They basically everyone wanted to kill each other in their primaries.
Yeah.
And so it was already on. People were throwing out the nasty commercials and everything.
Yeah.
And basically
Newt Gingrich, he's had 7 wives. That was just
the Republicans already exposed all of Romney's weaknesses during the primaries.
You're right, actually. I never really thought about that, but you're right. The primaries were pretty cutthroat.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Newt Gingrich ran commercials against whatever Mitt Romney, calling him a butcher and everything of companies, and there were just a bunch of commercials that demonized Mitt Romney, and they were in the Republican sphere.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, it's it's scary because Romney's an easy guy to shit on because he doesn't really have firm beliefs. He's kind of stupid. He's not that great. He's not nearly as good of a speaker as Obama or anything. He's not great on his feet. He's good at memorizing lines that his publicists write for him. And he's a Mormon, which to most people that has a pretty negative connotation unless you're a Mormon. So he's an easy guy to pick on. Yeah, and that's I guess I should have taken you a little more seriously when you were saying that people the Republicans don't even like Romney, and it was kind of true. He was really not the ideal candidate, I think.
They don't. They ended up with him because he was the last hope. Since everyone else had blown it, the only other person was Rick Perry or whatever from Texas.
Oh yeah, Perry, that guy. He was. What was his deal? There was something.
He was going so strong. Everyone thought he was going to win, and then he's like, "When I become president, 3 things that go: the Fed, the something," and then he forgot the third one. And then he just stuttered for a minute.
And
then after he was
I missed that.
He was oops.
Oops, FEMA, healthcare. Oh, God.
Are you serious? That's what brought him down. Wow. He was going so strong.
No, dude, I was not paying attention to the Republican stuff. I was just like, Ron Paul is my man, and he's not going to win, so...
Ron Paul's my man.
The sad part is, of all those candidates, Ron Paul was by far the most sensible choice, but the media just ruins him. The media, the stuff that you said before, they're they just invite Ron Paul to those debates just to ask him how he feels about, the other people. They just want to see Ron Paul's reaction. They don't care about his ideology. They don't care about what he has to say, other than, what can we say to laugh at Ron Paul?
Basically.
And it's really upsetting because... I mean, he's a smart guy. What I really like about Ron Paul compared to these other guys is that he's a little bit more of a real person. You know, he's like a doctor. He's still, and I always go back to that one thing where they said in one of the things about him being old. I think Romney may have been it was either Romney or Perry, I think, that said something about, you know, and aren't you guys worried about having a 81-year-old man in the White House? And he was just like, heat of summer, 5-mile race. I'll take any of you. Let's go. And then instantly everyone's just like, shit, I couldn't do that. God damn. And that was it. And I was just like, damn, Ron Paul, that was bold. Like, that's just such a badass response for that kind of a challenge. Like, I don't know. It's like, let's go right now. And I don't know. It's pretty cool. I really do like Ron Paul. He's a little loony. He's a little old. He's a little too old school for me. But comparatively, I think he's a much smarter choice. I know. I don't think you're a big Ron Paul guy, Josh. I can't really remember, actually. Are you a Ron Pauler?
Not really, no.
No.
Even though Ron Paul was pretty big with the youth.
Ron Paul was pretty big with the youth.
He was. That's what all the college people liked. All the college kids.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, he's very reasonable. He has a very general appeal to him. It's just he doesn't have unfortunately, the popular demographic, it tends to be either liberal or conservative, and there aren't as many kind of in that libertarian spectrum where they're, in the grand scheme of things, fairly moderate. And even though that's kind of the most balanced, people are a little bit more, it's a little bit more grabby to be one of the extremes, and that's where more people identify. So it's tricky business, man. Elections are scary. I think, Josh, we're about time for our final thought here, and final thought I think needs to be about the Electoral College. And I think we've talked about this, but I'm blanking on where you stand. Yay or nay to the Electoral College, Josh?
They're never going to fix it. What are they going to do?
Remove it. Popular vote.
Remove it. Popular vote.
Go by the popular vote. Yes. We have the technology, Josh. We have the power to do it. We don't need the Electoral College anymore.
It's true.
I mean, it's just stunning to me. How can you lose the popular vote? Literally, more people voted for you than the other guy, but you still lose the election based on the Electoral College. I mean, that's like, I know it didn't happen this election, but it happened in the one with Bush and Gore, and that's only happened 3 times, including the Bush-Gore incident. That's still just stunning to me. I mean, more people voted for him. That's a social injustice in my mind. So I don't know. I just think it's an inherently flawed system. It had its use back in the day when they made it in the late 1700s. It's been 300 years. I think it's time to move on. I don't know, Josh. What do you think?
I think they do, but like I said, they're never going to do it.
It's true. It's not a big enough problem for people. We have so many problems that surmount that as far as how relevant they are to our daily lives that you're right. It's going to stay buried for a long time.
I mean, I wish they did. I kind of didn't want Bush to go a second term. Bush, I think, is one of the the worst presidents. Bush second term too.
Yeah. Well,
Bush first term was okay. It was by accident.
No, first term was the one where he lost the popular vote. Second term, he won against Kerry, right? I think so. I think Bush.
I think
Gore
it was no.
2000.
Kerry was first and Gore was second, or was it the other way around? I don't know. Second term Bush though.
Okay, I'm pretty sure he just beat Kerry because Kerry was a big pussy.
Dude, I forget.
I remember it somewhat well. The Gore one was the closest. I mean, I really don't think Al Gore would have been a very good president, man. I really don't. You say what you will about Bush, but I don't. I think it would be a pretty rough argument to say Gore would have done significantly better than Bush in the 9/11 scenario. Al Gore is just he's such a pushover, man. He's such his wife. Oh God, Tipper Gore.
Dude, the big thing that came out of 9/11 though was the war in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And then the war in basically all of the Middle East. That's the big thing.
Yeah. Well,
that I felt Bush was a major
WMDs
player in.
Yeah,
WMDs that didn't exist.
Yeah, well, the hard part was
War on Terror.
The thing about that was the public pressure. After 9/11, they had all these polls, they had all this data that was something 75% of the population wants a retaliation right now. So it's
they made a war on terror.
Right.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and that's a Republican thing to make these WMDs and war on terror and just repeat it in all the speeches they give.
Yeah. I don't know.
And
It's hard to
basically,
say. I mean, you're right. It's a little bit more of a conservative thing to lead the world in the war on terror, be it, you know, that kind of proactive stance on terror, instead of I think the more liberal take is a little bit more defensive. At least that's how I think about it in my mind. But I don't know, man. Yeah, the choices were bad. That's what I'm getting at. Gore, fuck Al Gore, man. That whole global warming thing, that video is the stupid. I've never even seen it. I don't want to see it. It's a load of bullshit.
I haven't seen it either.
Oh god, I really, honestly, I'm a little biased against it. I really dislike his wife almost more than I don't like him. Her, you know how like Obama or Michelle's big thing is teen obesity. You know, that's a noble cause. I can get behind that. You know, that's a plague in our country right now, diabetes and shit. You don't want those kids with diabetes.
Nope.
But Tipper Gore's big thing was music censorship. She was huge on like, oh no, like you shouldn't, that CDs with profanity shouldn't be allowed to be sold in stores. That was her big thing, like banning CDs from Walmart and stuff. And she was big time pro censorship, and she was just this big uptight. I just imagine her like she's had sex one time, they popped out 2 kids, and that was it. And now she's just saying, "Hey, I have any fun? So no one else is gonna have any fun." I look like I'm sucking on a lemon all the time. It's just, oh man, just raw, just dripping out of her face. I wrote a paper on music censorship in 8th grade, and after that I was just like, you know what? Fuck this lady, man. And it was a little more relevant then. That was, I think she might have been one of the driving forces in getting that explicit sticker on CDs, you know, that parental advisory thing. Which I'm not really against. I don't have a problem with that little sticker. I mean, that's okay. But, you know, that's a nice happy medium. That's not really, there's a big jump between that and, you know, saying, no, you're not allowed to sell this CD in big box stores. I mean, that's like, Jesus. That's so hardcore democratic right there with like, I don't know, it's just so Tipper, dude. It's so Tipper. Like, enough, Josh. I think we've rambled on. Somehow the Electoral College transitioned into my hate for Al and Tipper Gore. So are we on? Well, we're not. We will. Okay, so news report this Saturday, the 17th. We will be doing. Hopefully, Josh, you'll be here, right?
Oh, shit, yes, I will.
Saturday. Okay, good, because I leave on Monday, and then we probably won't do one the following week because DreamHack will be afoot. So, Josh, closing thoughts for News Report 14. It's Obama time. It is
Obama time. Hopefully they get this whole, like, debt thing settled away. Hopefully there's some kind of compromise in the future.
Yeah, hopefully they just get this whole debt thing fixed up. Hopefully that whole thing will just go away. That's what I'm hoping for.
Hopefully they get a compromise.
Hopefully.
That's the big thing.
Got to compromise. Sharing is caring. So thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to follow at the social media at ZyoriTV on Twitter, at JD Hyper as well. And you can always email us about the show. Suggestions, comments, concerns, Zyori at Zyori.tv, Zyori at Zyori.tv. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. We'll see you on another cast.